Hello, good morning, America, and good evening, Slovenia. My name is Anna Maria, and I wish you a warm welcome to the second module titled to Innovation of the Entrepreneurship in New Reality program. Just to be sure, please send a message in chat so that I know that you can hear me well and see the presentation. Okay, great. It seems that everything is working perfectly. So this is a great start to start today's webinar. So before we start, I would like to give my warm thanks to all our today guest speakers, to moderator, and of course to you participants for joining us here. And some of you have maybe been with us on the first webinar last week, where we discussed how to grow in new reality as entrepreneurs. And today, of course, we're going to talk about innovation. So for all of you who are joining us now for the first time, just a quick information, what the program and Entrepreneurship in New Reality is actually about. It is a series of 10 webinars that are covering 10 actual topics, all in these times of new reality. And we are bringing together more than 30 guest speakers coming from both United States and Slovenia, who are going to share their professional know-how, their ideas, so that we can all connect, grow together, and exchange ideas to grow in these times of new reality. So the ENR project, as we call it shortly, was created by GEA College Faculty of Entrepreneurship and has been run in cooperation with the United States Embassy in Ljubljana, Slovenia. And of course, this project wouldn't happen if we would not have the support of all our national and of course, international partners. So at GEA College, who is a modern business center, we have been educating entrepreneurs now for more than 30 years. And of course, we are empowering individuals with entrepreneurship mindset. So today, really thank you and welcome to all young, future or established entrepreneurs who are joining us here today to get new knowledge, new ideas. And I hope that during this hour, you will gain some new ideas so that you can grow both as entrepreneur and as an individual in this new reality. And before we start, and I give this virtual floor to our moderator for today, I would briefly like to mention a few changes. So we do have a change of speaker. Instead of Mr. Kostanjevec, who is the director of national agency SPIRIT Slovenija, we have here Ms. Karin Žvokelj, acting as deputy director, who's going to be joining us here to share her views and experience. And we did get a last-minute apology from Ms. Karen Bartuch from the United States, and she has sent her apologies due to family emergencies. So yes, these things do happen, and of course we wish Karen well, and of course we wish also everything well to Mr. Kostanjevec, who is actually in Dubai promoting Slovenia at Expo International Fair. And of course, now I will give this floor to moderator. Hello, Alja. Alja is a lifelong promoter of entrepreneurship, so to say. She is currently engaged as program director in CEED Slovenija, which is an organization that actively supports Slovenian entrepreneurs. And in her, how to say, more than 10 years or 15 years of experience, Alja will of course bring you on to the details. She has made some really impactful projects. And right now she is helping women entrepreneurs to grow and to be active as entrepreneurs. So Alja, welcome. And of course, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Anna Maria. Hello, everyone. It's really my pleasure, to support you at GEA College. I really believe we are friends, and I'm excited, to lead this panel on the topic, does the new reality offer even greater potential for business innovation? We've been talking with entrepreneurs, throughout the whole year, with ups and downs, but let's try to do any wrap-ups on innovation, what happened in 2020. But first, before we go into the topic, I would really love to do a short introduction of all the panelists who are today with us. And I would start with ladies first, of course. Together with us is Karin Žvokelj. Karin is a deputy director at SPIRIT Slovenija. That is a public agency for entrepreneurship, internationalization, foreign investments, and technology. She also has incredible governmental and management experience. Previously, she was a secretary at the Office of the Minister for Economic Development and Technology in Slovenia, but also a general manager of the company MK project that was providing design, organization, and analysis and implementation of projects based on good ideas. So that's a wonderful connection to our today's topic. That's Karin. And then let's go over Atlantic. I would love to introduce you to Nik Rokop. Nik is an associate professor of entrepreneurship at the Stewart School of Business at the prominent Illinois Institute of Technology in Chicago. Entrepreneur with 30 plus years experience, loves to be a mentor and an investor, has lots of experience in engineering, manufacturing, sales, marketing, international operations. So I'm sure he's going to provide his views, what's happening with innovation today. And last but definitely not least, Andrej Pompe, one of the first entrepreneurs actually in Slovenia, co-founded a marketing and communication agency Formitas BBDO, founder and director of Brand Business School International, a lecturer and professor of creativity, innovation, entrepreneurship, branding, marketing at GEA College. And if I know, I think you published a book on innovative marketing communications last week. So that's just a short intro of everyone. Now I would like for all of you to join me. Yeah, so we see each other, because I believe the conversation is going to be easier in that sense. I see you, Andrej. I don't see Nik. Oh, Nik, I see you. Cool.
I'm here.
We are here, yeah. So many, videos and so many people, so it's easier to do it like that. I'll change my view. Perfect. So yeah, before we go with the questions, and have the conversation, I would invite everyone who's with us today. So all participants, please ask questions. We would love to see you. Write us, send us a message on chat. I want to pose a question, I'm struggling with some things, or is this innovation, and just, and we're going to bring on the camera, and you're going to be able to ask the question by yourself. If that's not an option, you can always pose the questions in the chat section. And now let's go to the first question. I think what is business innovation? What does it mean being innovative? Sometimes it's not really clear, So I would ask Andrej and Nik, would you be able, to give us some meanings, definitions, what is an innovation actually, and what does being innovative means? Andrej, maybe we can start with you.
Okay, thank you.
I know you have some great things to share with us.
I'll do that a little bit later with a very good example. But when you're asking somebody what, in fact, innovation is, he's full of, excitement and so on. But when you ask him to be innovative, there is suddenly something happens. And that means he stopped thinking. He stopped being relaxed and so on. So first of all, I have to say that innovation is just a result, but good result of being creative and innovate. And in this, in fact, innovation is a reflection of the ability to put an idea into effect. Well, but being innovative and willing to make an innovation, everybody have to face some cruel facts that out of, for example, 100 ideas, 2, 3, or 4 really then at the end really became a real innovation. That means that people are buying it, people are needing it, and so on. Then the other thing is an idea it's a fantastic thing, but it's just an imagination. And this is just 1% of everything. And then 99%, I'm so sorry, you have to work very hard. But without that 1%, 99% means nothing. I'm a lot of times arguing with my colleagues on faculty and also around with other entrepreneurs saying how important everything in business is. But at the end, I'm saying always, without a good idea, there's nothing to manage. There are no finance. There's no financial program really good if there is no good idea and not a very good product. And there is another one aspect that I have to stress with innovation. Without a lot of testing, without a lot of improving and changing the core idea, there is always a very enormous risk. What will be the real outcome? And but still, I think that talking about what means to be innovative, it just means that you have to change the way you look at the things around you. You have to change. You have to think differently. I like so much the Apple campaign, Think Different, where the best people from the world through Gandhi and I don't know Picasso and so on were introduced, but nothing. They said nothing. There was just their picture and just think different. What means that if you think different, you can really be different, and your products, your results people will see, and probably, hopefully, they will also be able to sell those things. So we have to think differently. We have to think differently. We have, let's say, change the point of view we have, and something is very, very important. You know, when you were young, when you were a child, you were curious, and you were trying everything that was around you. Then you went to school, and the teacher said, this must be like this and this and this, and if the answer is not like this and this, you get a bad mark and so on. And all this creativity, all this curiosity was killed through 15 years, 20 years of education. And
and then we come back, right? And we start thinking about, how to be creative, when you finish, college, university. That was my action.
Yes. And for example, when I have the first class with my students with this subject, I see, and then the last meeting that we have a lot of meetings, a lot of working and so on. I can see how much really we can get out from somebody, because I know, and that's for sure, everybody is creative. There is no question about that. It is just the fear to be creative.
And think differently, right?
Yes.
Sorry, Andrej, now I would love for Nik, to add also.
Yes, I would just
kind of have to be short.
To add something to this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Andrej. Nik, what would you add?
It's a pretty comprehensive answer. I'm not sure I have a lot to add to it, but I do like to keep things simple. So let me just say that there's three words that typically are thrown around in this space: invention, innovation, and entrepreneurship. True. So invention, you can come up with a product, and that's what so many people love to do. They just create something, whether it's a program, a physical product, a service, something invented. Then, an innovation really is something like that, but that has some unique qualities and that creates value. That's how I view innovation. So you can invent something, but it's kind of useless, right? It doesn't do much. But to be innovative, it really has to create some value. And entrepreneurship is just one way, one method of creating commercial value out of either innovations or inventions. So that's the framework that I look at with those three words.
Wonderful.
Your question, demystifying innovation versus being innovative, to me is analogous to being naturally talented. So if you're innovative, it's kind of like being naturally talented athlete. But innovation or success at any endeavor requires a process. So using the sports analogy, it would be somebody who works really hard, outworks the other team members or outworks the opponents, and actually becomes successful. So for me, being innovative is like being talented, but actually doing innovation requires process and work. So
perfect. Thanks. I mean, you really summed up really well, both of you. And, since Andrej mentioned, curiosity, think differently, that we talk a lot about innovation mindset, and I know Spirit has prepared lots of great things in this year, and they have some really great positive messages for all Slovenian entrepreneurs. So I would invite Karin now, if you can share with us, what do you have for us, what you can share,
Yeah, some national view, no?
Yeah,
Slovenia national view about the innovation ecosystem. I would like to present where we are going as a nation, let's say, in Slovenia.
Cool.
So yes, innovation, fostering innovation mindset for us is quite a complex issue. No, and currently in SPIRIT Slovenia, that it's a national public agency for entrepreneurship, internationalization, foreign investment, and technology. We are quite currently facing the complexity of this issue. I would like to present you really 3 ongoing actions that we are doing in Slovenia, also in our agency, in order to strengthen the innovation ecosystem in Slovenia. So last year, in cooperation with the Ministry of Economic Development and Technology, we prepared the program for development of innovation ecosystem. So what it means, this was quite a first phase in order to strengthen the innovation ecosystem in Slovenia. The program was also signed by the Slovenian Minister for Economic Development and Technology, Mr. Rokop. So what we did last year, we put our strength into scanning what are the weakness points of Slovenia innovation ecosystem. Because maybe someone knows that Slovenia innovation performance has declined significantly according to the European Innovation Scoreboard. While at the EU level, the innovation system performance improved 8.8% between 2011 to 2018. The Slovenia, the innovation ecosystem performance declined by 10.7%. So as a result, Slovenia moved from the category of strong innovators to the category of moderate innovators. And that was for us a big alarm. So really then going deeper into the issue, our team identified 3 main challenges to the declined innovation performance. The first challenge was definitely a fragmented innovation ecosystem and consequences in its operation. What it means that we have a lot of different networks who represent the Slovenian innovation ecosystem, but they are not communicate among each other. So regarding the network, I mean, like we have fab labs, we have technologic parks, incubators, then we have some networks, let's say, networks where science and companies are together and so on. So this is quite a big problem now. So another thing like financial uncertainties. So you always, these networks are always covered just for one period and then it's closed now. Then public expenditure on research and development is modest. Cooperation between science and industry is also not enough or not intensive enough. So we have to strengthen the thing now. The second challenge is linked with the internationalization. So what we found out that we have insufficient internationalization of R&D and visibility and networking at European and international level. Just in one word, you already mentioned before, we need to commercialize the innovations internationally. So now it's not enough just doing product, but you really need, or you really need to have the competencies and skills how to sell it. No, and this is very, let's say, a big challenge now. Mm-hmm. And one thing is also regarding the promotion of innovation. No? We need also to strengthen the brand promotion of the Slovenian economy abroad. Under position, we have already position trademark, Green Creative Smart. So this is our national task for our companies, to, let's say, to promote innovation abroad under this position trademark. So this is the second gap. And the last challenge is increasing public and private investments from one-stop shop. So what it means, put more money on R&D, plus put all R&D measures under one umbrella. So because we have a lot of measures regarding the innovation, but some we covered, some covers our agencies, some ministry, and so on. So putting together all challenges, our general goal is definitely that in 10 years, we would like to return from the group of moderate innovators to the group of strong innovators. So this is our main goal. Now, at national level, we would like also to increase the share of innovative companies in industry and selective service activities by at least 10% within 5 years. And above all, and also to strengthen the activities of SMEs, which is smaller compared to large companies. So this is, let's say, one thing what we are doing. Then the second very, let's say, big thing that we are doing, it's again with cooperation with the Ministry of Economy and also in cooperation with DG Reform, with the Commission, we are doing in-depth analysis of strengthening the innovation ecosystem in Slovenia. This is a kind of ongoing now, 1 year long in-depth analysis. We are in the beginning stage. We started in January. Kickoff meeting with the Commission was in December. And right now we close the inception report. So what we would like to do is we would like to come out with the benchmarking with other successful, let's say, European and global countries. Then we would like, by this benchmark, we would like to identify gaps that we have in Slovenia, elaborate tailor-made measures, and also to increase our skills and competencies on innovations.
Sorry, Karin, sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but I already have a question, from the audience.
Oh my God.
It's in Slovenian.
So it's quite interesting.
Yeah, but then we'll have to move on. But I would really love, what, so the question is, and I'm translating it. What can SPIRIT or the ministers, or the state do, that good innovation doesn't go out of state? So that's direct translation, because some of them went to Austria, Baltic regions, and several other countries, Are there any measures regarding that?
Yeah, now we would like, with this in-depth analysis, we would like to, doing first of all the benchmark, and then we would like really prepare a tailor-made measures. We would like also Austria is one of our, let's say, selected country for benchmarking.
Perfect.
So yes, we know that we are weak here, and we would like to do something now, because we know that we have challenges, we have gaps, but we need new measures now.
Yeah, and you're preparing that. Are you going to share us that right in the next on? Can we, or would you like?
Yeah, I would like to just to close the.
Yes, please do.
Yeah, there is one thing very important, maybe also interesting for the audience now, that we are right now we are preparing different financial measures for the new period.
Okay.
There are kind of, let's say, 4 main packages now. One is let's say a recovery and resilience instrument with amount of 5.2 billion euro. Divided into 1.6 billion in grants and 3.6 billion in loans, where also R&D are included. So around, I think, 100 million euros will be just for grants, just for R&D. I can't say more than this because this is a confidential document, so that's all information that I can do.
No, I mean,
I can give you.
Here, we're entrepreneurs, so we're kind of like,
yeah, okay,
these numbers
okay.
actually,
but
I'm not
just
sure if
to
they
know,
mean a
yeah,
lot to us.
yeah, just
please.
to know, I know because I was also in previous life, let's say entrepreneur,
I know.
No, I think this information could be enough just to start thinking about the innovation or what to innovate. No, definitely around 100 million grants will be dedicated just for R&D. No, so so now you could think about what to do. No,
what to do.
So the second package, let's say it's React EU. With amount around 300 million euro. And also here, innovation and digitalization will take a significant part now. Now, everything is in progress now. So we know that we will have these packages. So the ministry still elaborate the, let's say, the measures and that things now. Then the third is Fair Transition Fund with amount of 200 million euro. And there will be some measures just for some statistical regions. No, again, more than this, I can't say. And the last, let's say, package will be for the new cohesion envelope. Let's say cohesion money, EU money, we say it in Slovenia, EU money, with amount about 2.9 billion euro. And also innovation, sustainability, the digitalization will take a significant part. So free operation programs will be elaborated for this cohesion envelope, and everything is still in progress. So for this year, now this year is a year for, let's say, preparing all necessary documents to increase innovation.
Can we expect calls? Can we expect calls?
Definitely, definitely. Okay. That I want to say.
That's
no, this year is the year for us to do all the documents, then to prepare proper measures, and then to reach the company as soon as possible. So this year, maybe we will have 2 or 3 calls, but I hope, really hope that the next year will be the year for calls.
That we go up,
innovation,
right?
Yeah. And
cool.
Also to strengthen the innovation ecosystem also on national level, because here we are also weak. So, okay, for now I'm...
Karin, thank you very much. Yeah. And this is like a perfect opportunity for the audience. I would love to ask the audience, because we prepared a poll, how they feel they were innovative within their company and organization in the last year, because the pandemic really was a strange year. So please, Ana Maria, do we see the poll?
Yes.
How innovative were you within your company organization in the last year? And you can answer us if it's more than the previous year, less, or the same. And we're gonna go further with another question, and then we're gonna come back, and comment it, and we'll see what's happening there actually in Slovenia. Just a second. Now we covered the definition, the meanings, innovation, innovative thinking, curiosity, what's happening on the national level about innovation and everything. Now I would really love to go to the examples, and best practices. What is innovative? And Nik and Andrej, they prepared a couple of examples for us, how they faced innovation, and being innovative in the last year. What are their great examples? So maybe Nik, I would ask you to start, and then I would ask Andrej if you can also share.
Sure.
What were you proud of? I would say, maybe you did so well, and so many great things. What's one thing that you're proud of?
Well, as a university, so we're a technological university. One of the things personally I'm proud of is that we restarted what we call our Master of Technological Entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. And that degree is a professional master's degree, and it one of its unique features is that a very large proportion of it is actually a capstone project from the beginning, from the first day you start to the last day you graduate. And you can either build your own business, you can commercialize a research technology, or you can work with an innovative project with a corporation. So we just restarted that, and I'm personally the director of that program. So that's exciting for me.
So that's your innovation, actually, from the last.
That's the innovation.
That's innovation.
Exactly right, because I am a clinical professor, so I believe in doing things hands-on.
And, that clinical means. Okay, cool.
That's the way I teach.
Nice.
From an institutional perspective, we had, if you don't mind me saying one thing or a combination of things from an institutional perspective, we created a College of Computing, and that merged a couple of our previous colleges. But the unique feature of that, and one thing we're really excited about, is that we, unlike so many silos that you find in universities, this College of Computing is taking computing all across the campus. So every college, whether it's our law school, our design school, our engineering school, our business school, human sciences, all of those will have computing as a foundation and a foundational layer for partnerships, for education, and for innovation. So we're really excited about that, and in conjunction with our new Kaplan Institute for Innovation and Tech Entrepreneurship, I think we're doing really great. So this was all happened in the the year of pandemic. So you could be.
But the plans were before, or that was like a thing you felt like, now we need to push this forward, when March happened.
Yeah, the idea started beforehand, but the implementation was during this difficult period. And we've used technology and IT and software to implement, and it's working very well. So.
And you're preparing for the future, right? Putting computing in every study and discipline and science. That's awesome. Yep. Awesome. Andrej, would you share what was the most innovative thing that you did?
Before I will present a real case that happened and is still going on, I would just like to say that my experience during this working with students during this COVID period is telling me that there is no loss of creativity or loss of cooperation between them. So the process didn't hurt, I would say, their minds, and didn't hurt how they would like to face the problems and to face the opportunities. What I would like to introduce you is, in fact, not a technical innovation, but is marketing communication innovation. It is something that people from Slovenia know very well, because it's going on now already for the 5th year. This is something that's called Started Up Slovenia. Yeah. It is an innovative concept, and in fact we created a new trend in market communication and in company and brand positioning, because more things at the same time has happened because of this innovation. And in fact, this is somehow a pioneering project to what Karin was talking about, because we combined, we have done something like government, universities, incubators came together, but here the real industry, the trade industry come together with entrepreneurs. This is something not really, I would say, common. So we created a 4-party concept where all the 4 participants gain profit. Not profit in money, also profit in money, but mostly in market positioning and the opportunity to be on the market on one hand, on the other one to be ahead the competitors. So, okay, this concept was awarded as the best marketing communication approach of the decade. Now
it's really a wonderful project. I mean, it's amazing.
I'm so proud that we have done it. So what is the point? Not to be too long about it. The point is that we have a client, a grocery store chain called Spar, and they just wanted to do something to position them better than the competitors. And then we've been thinking about what about the young generation? What about the people that would like to have success, but they cannot have success, or it is very hard to gain it. So we came to an idea that Spar could support prospective entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs. It doesn't mean that these are startups. They could also, there are also some a little bit older. And then we combine this with the television, with our most popular commercial TV station, Pop TV, and what we created a serial of narrations of these small and innovative entrepreneurs that have been chosen, and we have revealed their life story and the story of their product. So this was something that we are nowadays in marketing communication talking all about involvement, sharing, story, and all this stuff that is
and involving different stakeholders, right, into the
yes,
and in building an enterprise.
And in these times where everybody is seeding fear, and in these times where everything is so negative, and in these times where we have so many fake news, this was
we need
something
positive
so
stories.
real, so close to people. These were normal people, not some celebrities or some very successful with a lot of money and so on. No. And this is really a great story. And what I would point out by this is that we have had till now 36 of these entrepreneurs, and after 5 years, 28 of them are still very successful, selling and innovating new products. What means this is a great saldo, I would say, to everything. So this is a very strong promise. That means innovation, quality, and support of local entrepreneurs. And in this COVID time, this local approach is absolutely crucial. We can look at the pictures on the screen, but what you really can experience in reality is something else. And this was something. So the result was fantastic. The result is not only a good selling, it's the best positioning for Spar Slovenia, is the best positioning for the TV station, because the ratings were a little not that high as everyday news, but just a little less. So it is really something great. And what I would recommend to everyone who wants to be innovative, everybody should look at the trends, what's going on, but not only technological trends, also the
food producing, sustainability, and climate, and everything related to the.
There are so many trends to explore. You just have to combine your product with the trend.
And I mean, this is a really useful thing, that I always ask, where can we find those trends, Where do we read them? What's your, let's say, what's your go-to magazine medium, where you go and see? Where do you learn about the new trends?
Our company, there is something that's called trend watching.
Oh, cool.
It's a really good thing. Yeah, okay, you have to pay some money for that, of course. But this is a company from England. It's really a good one, and it's perfect. And combine these trends with, I don't know, when you go to your clients and you go to the market, you have to find out whom you are talking to. And so when you find out that, and then you compare it with the trend in your product, you're on the right way. Then you just have to be creative. And be creative.
Just creative, yeah.
You can say, hello, here I am. I have the best thing for you. But this is not enough. This is just
we know that we need a whole support system. We need mentors. We need national agencies who's going to support us. We need mentors, we need schools, we need everyone. I mean, you know, the whole ecosystem needs to like support us, you know, and there's so much imposter syndrome, you know, and I've been working with entrepreneurs, you know, of all sizes, you know, startups and everyone. I know a couple of entrepreneurs from SPIRIT Slovenia as well. And I know how it is at the beginning, you know, and then just need support so they can grow, you know, and everyone's going to have a lot out of it, I would say. Nik, would you, thanks, Andrej, that was a really cool example. Nik, what was one thing, you know, what was the innovation of the year that you were most impressed with? You know, that was like, that came out of Bloom, except Zoom, let's say. I'm joking a little bit, you know, but you know how it is.
Well, you know, just because it happens to be the biggest thing, the biggest influence on what's going on right now, which is COVID, you know, the development of the vaccine by so many entities. I think is tremendous, and I think it's not an innovation from just a pure science standpoint, but it's an innovation that it happened because I think a lot of people don't understand is that companies like the pharmaceutical companies or anybody developing product, whether it's a vaccine or anything else, has to look at the return on investment and the potential for something to succeed. How much money do I put into it versus how much money I'll get back?
Yeah.
The reason vaccines take so long generally is because you're not going to do so many efforts that you don't know if they're going to succeed or not. So if you're looking at 5 candidates at a time, you can't do that. The governments, the European governments, Chinese, the US, all said, don't worry about that. We'll put all the money into developing parallel processes. And that's actually what shortened the development of the vaccine, where, you know, an individual company just can't make that decision and can't really, afford that. So it had to come from governments, from, larger pockets. So I think that,
that's actually one thing. But if we go to the level of, small business, startups, was there something, that you were impressed with in the last year, and you saw that there was like, let's say, a idea, invention, and it was like scaled up in the market in the last year?
Let's see, there's so many different things. Again, this COVID period has focused so many people on things like, entrepreneurs in one company's like literally pivoting to address something related to that. And I think that's, a lot of things like face masks, which we really didn't have before, right? Or personal protective equipment and that. I think there's just so many exciting, both scientific ones. I'm trying to think of one that I might, give me a little bit of
no worries
time, and I'll think of something that, there's so much that's going on that, pulling out one, I'm not so sure I can.
I think that there is one good answer to everything what's happening. In Slovenia, we have a nice proverb: in emergency, even the devil eats flies. I think that the English version is beggars can't be choosers, something like that. And of course, without COVID and without this big ecosystem made or created by all the governments, this couldn't be possible. But what you presented for pharmaceutics, if we just put it on a smaller level, what Alja was trying to find out, the small level was this what I presented. With and so on. And the middle level is what Karin was presenting. So the important thing is that all the participants, all the stakeholders come together and see that they all see some kind of profit. I know that without profit, nobody wants to do anything.
Yeah.
At least in economy.
Yeah.
Well, but yes, in emergency, even the devil is flies. Yes.
since I would now, let's check the poll, what participants said, how innovative they were. Oh, more than, see, that's the reality, when the crisis, it gets tough, the tough gets creative, they say. It's a saying, and I love this saying. So Nik, one more time to you, and then I'm gonna ask Andrej and Karin, to also to comment on that, since, you're an expat. I mean, you've been living in US for so many years, but the European and American, let's say, spirit, innovation spirit, what do you think we can learn, from you, that's gonna help us here, and I don't mean, that we are still innovative. Andrej mentioned, Karin, okay, expressed what they're gonna do, but what would you point out? What do you see?
So I think one of the defining features of the American system is that it does allow it does provide a lot of incentive, right? And unfortunately, sometimes that goes far to one side. Pendulums tend to swing from regulation to free form, and but I think that definitely the incentive system that we have built in place, we can learn from. We actually have to check that. You might need a little bit more of that. So I would say there's we may be on on opposite ends of a little bit of a spectrum, but I think very generally.
And you have to be aware, Andrej is actually one of the first entrepreneurs,
Right.
So that's, exactly. Seeing like that, and talking about entrepreneurship in US for so many centuries. So that I know, but it's not an excuse, what we can take, sorry.
Yeah, well,
I wanted to add that.
I'm an immigrant to the United States. Yeah. My father brought us here, and he said it's the land of opportunity where the streets are paved with gold. And for my family, it was good. And we did very well in heavy industry, the steel industry, for example, and then later on in other areas. But what I think that comes from that is, it's this idea that you have to have a growth mindset as opposed to a fixed pie, what I call, I think it's been proven that, we've been growing, talk about macro trends. We've been growing economy. We're growing population. We're growing knowledge. And for me, those macro trends just say there's opportunity all the time. I like to live by little aphorisms. And one of mine is your time is limited, but your opportunities are not. So, that's what I think the learning it needs to be for many, many people, is that they view the world as a fixed set of resources, a fixed set of opportunities, and it's really not. It's infinite for all intents and purposes. The flip side very quickly is that all of us need to understand and manage risk. And I think entrepreneurs, most of them don't know how to do that. That's why most entrepreneurs fail. The successful entrepreneurs understand and know how to motivate resources and manage risk. So there's that balance that you always have to create. So
wonderful. And can we, share, the book is called Growth Mindset versus Fixed Mindset by Carol Dweck, right? This is for all the participants. It's an important reading, for everyone, who's like wondering what this is, and thanks, Nik. Okay, so we're gonna go slowly until the end, but I have a really cool question that I would love to, for all of you, to answer. And please be sharp, maybe give us a couple of steps, what can we do? There were companies who are stuck, and were hit pretty hard in the whole pandemic, tourism, travel, hospitality. Do you have any ideas, should they just wait until the vaccine comes, and everything's going to be fine, if they can afford it, or, what they can do, I mean, Andrej and Nik, you're both, also professors of entrepreneurship and innovation, what would be one, let's say, first 3 steps that you would recommend to them? And also, Karin, I know you have some things prepared for this kind of businesses. So, Andrej, maybe you?
You mean about the steps in tourism and so on?
Yeah, no, I just mean, in a sense, there's companies, who are stuck, they cannot do anything, because they have, like, we call it a zero market, they cannot sell anything, tourism, travel. And so what would be first 3 steps that you would recommend them? What they can think of, do, or?
Okay, I know that all these companies that have faced this problem, at the first glance, they stopped, of course. Yeah. But there are so many cases where people have found way out. So, for example, I don't know, we have in Slovenia a company that was transporting people to airports.
Yeah,
it's called GoOpti, and they were doing that business, only that business. Now they are transporting everything that the stores are selling, and because you cannot go to the store, so they have rearranged their focus. And they are working well, and a lot of taxi drivers and even private retired people are working in this field. So what I would say that when the problem comes, the problem is always an opportunity. And if you do look at the problem like this, and if you have courage, and if you maybe talk to some people and ask them, what would you do? Because if you are just sitting at the desk and thinking it's not enough, maybe some people can give you some hints and so on.
Going to the market, finding customers, talking to people and finding out where's
exactly. So
the match,
if I can remember, there was a beauty service, whatever, they were doing something for women and so on. And then this desodorant for hands came out. So we put on because of COVID, and the smell was bad and so on. Yeah. What she has done, she put some fragrance inside and began to sell it. And it was the best thing because she couldn't have their regular services, and they found the product. So everybody can do that. In every business, there is an opportunity. But you have to make a switch. You have to be prepared to change.
Yeah. And be surrounded with like-minded people, right? Who are going to support you to do all the steps. Thanks, Andrej. Nik, what would you add? Would you add anything? I mean, I know you. What would you add?
I think I can add a couple of things. One thing that my father used to say when we were in our business is he said, the dollar you don't spend today might be the dollar that allows you to survive until you get your next contract. And so that's one perspective. The other one, however, is a little bit different, is that it's times like this that you really need to invest and prepare for which we know is coming, for the boom. So it's been shown, we were in the steel industry, and for many, many years or decades, the steel industry was very cyclical. And the most successful companies were the ones that at the bottom of the cycle, when everything was bad, were starting to build steel plants. People said, why are you spending all this money? The economy is so horrible. Well, by the time the economy came up and was ready to really go at full blast, they were already finished with their factories and they were operating at full capacity. The plants that didn't invest, they weren't producing, they were losing market. So the on the one hand is the savings, but on the other hand is the investment, and understanding that we will get out of this. There will be
there's a way out.
I don't know about your checkbook, but mine is flush right now because I haven't been on international trips. I haven't gone out to so many restaurants. I haven't done so many things. The minute I'm allowed to, believe me, I'm spending a lot of money.
Of course. Then we're going to use all the travel and tourism and everything. I know. Yeah. Whatever. Thanks, Nik. That was really positive, Karin, we have still a couple of minutes. Can you please shortly share what have you prepared for this kind of companies, tourism, travel, and if, maybe in a minute or two, and if it's not enough, we can send them the link, where they can get more information.
No, I will be brief now.
Thank
so quick. No, so we already know now the main role of the government is working on different schemes for job, more or less for job retention and for liquidity. And the main role of the companies, yes, as Andrej already said, now new business models, especially in this sector. Now, as how we see. So for, let's say, as a government, let's say as a SPIRIT Slovenia national agency, we implemented last year the full digitalization of the open call for financing the operating costs for companies in the hospitality and tourism industry during the first wave of the COVID epidemic. So in March was now. So we distributed around 10 million euros for more than 800 companies. So beneficiary receives around 10,000 euro according to the one calculation methodology, depending on operating costs. So we covered more or less the liquidity costs like electricity, rents, and so on. So for the time of the full lockdown. So what is interesting that we are preparing the second call for proposal. I think the second call will be published in March, or maybe I hope February, March, something like this. And we will support the larger set of companies, not just tourism, but also I think touristic agencies and so on, different, but a large set of companies. And also a large subsidy is also planned, around 36 million euros. So we will finance.
So we can say that, that those who are not able to innovate right now, they can they're going to be supported in some way. They can,
this is not.
And then wait for everything to open up and then flourish in the business and of course be prepared, But
yeah, but this is not for, let's say, innovation. No, this is more like what must do government for these companies.
I get it. Yeah.
Just
it's part of all the packages that we've been talking about the whole year, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I know. Thank you, Karin.
Yes.
If you would like to add, please do.
Yeah, just one thing about the new business models, what we see in Slovenia. Okay, Andrej already mentioned GoOpti, but for example, there are three, let's say, also very interesting, let's say, new business models. For example, many restaurants reorganize their business model into to-go services.
Yeah.
So we have, let's say, larger Slovenian cities distribution of goods, using these friendly apps, Volt, Hrana. Then we have Vivo Catering, who covered business events, and now they establish Vivo Box offer. So if you have any conference, webinars, they just it's a kind of catering delivers, so very interesting thing, so they bring the lunches to their homes. It's nice. And then some cities, galleries are offering online guided tours, virtual sightseeing experience, and so on. So there are quite now some new, let's say, business models, also in tourism sector. So definitely we know that we are changing our habits, our ways of living in our private business environment.
And we're never going back, right?
Definitely. Yeah. So
what would be your final? What, Karin? We'll have to go to the. It's Nik, in our time it's 6:30 in the evening. So just so you know that you're aware of the time, but Karin, I would ask you, what would, you finished with the positive
I'm finished,
thoughts, but maybe one more thing, what would you give to our entrepreneurs today? What would be a final remark that you would like to state out in one sentence or two?
Maybe be innovative, believe in your idea. So working with passion and being persistent is the key to success. And definitely check our website, SPIRIT website. I always say, we are here for you. for companies. So if you have any questions on your business, everything regarding the business innovation, internationalization, investment, don't hesitate to contact us, me directly. So we are here for you. Like Spirit is here for the companies.
Yeah, and you're spread out around Slovenia.
Yes.
I know that. Thanks, Karin. Andrej?
I would just say
final thought. Yeah.
Every unspoken idea is the loss of a great opportunity.
Great. Wonderful. Andrej, short and simple. I love that. And Nik?
Well, finally, I would say that for all of us, we've seen that there's so many things that we said we couldn't do, but we could, and we did. And that, keep that up and you will succeed. So.
Yeah. And we were prepared for it, and look at us now, right? Thank you, Nik, Andrej, Karin. I'm gonna give this award also to Anna Maria, who's gonna do our final remark of this session.
Thank you, Alja, for your wonderful moderation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Alja.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Also on behalf of GEA College, thank you so much for the guest speakers for joining us and sharing your great experiences. We heard some great stuff that we can do to increase the level of innovativeness, so to say. Of course, thank you, Nik, thank you, Karin, and thank you, Andrej. It was a great pleasure having you here. And of course, thanks goes also to Alja for great moderation. And of course, thank you all to all participants. I hope you have enjoyed and that you will also join us for the next time. So please feel free to share any comments or suggestions that you would have to my email. You have it. And of course, I hope that you will see you next time when we will discuss economic reforms. Again, same time, next Tuesday. You will get the link, and have a good evening to all Slovenians. And of course, have a good day to the American side. Thank you all again. Goodbye, America, and good night, Slovenia.
Good evening to all.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.